Welcome back to WizeFactz, your go-to channel for insightful analysis and breaking news. I bet you didn't know how Donald Trump managed to win the 2024 U.S. presidential election. With the return of Donald J. Trump to the White House, defeating incumbent President Kamala Harris, Trump's victory marked a significant shift in the American political landscape. The nation remains deeply divided, reflecting the polarized climate that defined the election cycle. This unexpected turn of events has left many wondering how Trump managed to secure his second term. The election was a nail-biter, with razor-thin margins in several key states. Trump's victory ultimately hinged on a combination of factors, including unwavering support from his base, the effective mobilization of rural voters, and a carefully crafted message that resonated with specific demographics. As the nation grapples with the outcome, understanding the dynamics that shape this historic election becomes crucial. One of the most significant factors in Trump's victory was the unwavering loyalty of his base, a dedicated group of voters who remained steadfast in their support throughout his tumultuous first term and beyond. These supporters were not just passive followers, they were active participants in his political movement. These voters, often concentrated in rural areas and former industrial heartlands, connected deeply with Trump's populist message and his promises to restore American greatness. They felt overlooked and forgotten by the traditional political establishment, and Trump's rhetoric resonated with their desire for change. They saw him as a political outsider, unafraid to challenge the establishment and fight for their interests. His bold promises to bring back jobs, renegotiate trade deals, and prioritize American workers struck a chord with many who felt left behind by globalization. Trump's base remained largely immune to the controversies that plagued his presidency and the criticisms leveled against his policies. They viewed the media's negative coverage as biased and believed that Trump was being unfairly targeted. They appreciated his direct communication style, his willingness to address issues considered taboo by the political elite, and his perceived strength on issues like immigration and national security. His straightforward approach and unfiltered speeches made them feel heard and represented. This unwavering loyalty translated into high voter turnout in key states, providing Trump with a solid foundation on which to build his victory. The dedication of his supporters was evident in their willingness to stand in long lines and endure harsh weather conditions to cast their ballots. Their commitment was not just about supporting a candidate, it was about being part of a movement that they believed was fighting for their future and the future of the country. This sense of belonging and purpose fueled their enthusiasm and made them a formidable force in American politics. The economy emerged as a central theme in the 2024 election, with Trump effectively tapping into the economic anxieties of many Americans. While the Biden administration touted its handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and subsequent economic recovery, many voters remained unconvinced. Trump hammered on issues like inflation, rising costs of living, and the perceived loss of American jobs, arguing that the Democrats' policies were detrimental to the working class. Trump's message resonated with voters who felt left behind by the economic recovery, particularly in areas that had experienced manufacturing decline and job losses. He promised to bring back jobs, renegotiate trade deals, and put America first in economic policies. This focus on economic concerns, coupled with his criticism of the Democrats' handling of the economy, proved to be a potent strategy in mobilizing voters seeking change and a return to prosperity. Section 4. America First, resonating with conservative values. Beyond economic issues, Trump successfully appealed to conservative values and national pride, solidifying his support among white working-class voters and social conservatives. His message was clear and resonated deeply with those who felt left behind by the rapid changes in society and the economy. He emphasized themes of patriotism, traditional family values, and a strong national defense, positioning himself as the defender of an America under threat from liberal ideologies and globalist agendas. By invoking a sense of nostalgia for a bygone era, he connected with voters who longed for a return to what they perceived as simpler, more stable times. Trump's rhetoric tapped into a sense of cultural anxiety and nostalgia among some voters, who felt that their values were under attack and that America's standing in the world was diminishing. He painted a picture of an America that had lost its way, promising to restore its greatness by putting American interests first. He criticized what he perceived as excessive political correctness, defended gun rights, and took a hard line on issues like immigration and law and order. His stance on these issues was seen as a direct challenge to the progressive agenda, which he argued was eroding the fabric of American society. This approach resonated with voters who felt that their concerns were being ignored by the Democratic Party, which they viewed as out of touch with their values. Many of these voters were from rural areas and small towns, where traditional values and a sense of community were still strong. Trump's emphasis on cultural issues and his projection of strength on the world stage cemented his image as a defender of traditional American values, further consolidating his base and attracting voters who prioritized these issues. His promise to make America great again was not just a slogan, but a call to action for those who believed that America's best days were still ahead, if only the country could return to its core principles. By focusing on these themes, Trump was able to build a coalition of voters who felt a deep connection to his message. His ability to articulate their fears and hopes in a way that felt authentic and relatable was a key factor in his political success. This connection was not just about policy, but about a shared vision of what America could be. In the end, Trump's appeal to conservative values and national pride was a powerful force in American politics. It tapped into a deep well of sentiment that had been largely overlooked by the political establishment, giving voice to millions of Americans who felt that their country was slipping away from them. His message of strength, patriotism, and traditional values continues to resonate with a significant portion of the electorate, shaping the future of American politics. Section 5. A divided Democratic front, a House divided. The Democratic Party, once a formidable force, found itself in a state of internal conflict. While Trump effectively mobilized his base and capitalized on economic anxieties, rallying his supporters with promises of a stronger economy and a return to traditional values, the Democratic Party faced internal divisions that hampered their efforts to present a united front. These divisions were not just superficial, but ran deep within the party's core. The party grappled with ideological differences between its progressive and moderate wings, each faction believing their vision was the path to victory. This ideological rift impacted its ability to craft a clear and compelling message that resonated with a broad spectrum of voters. The progressives pushed for transformative policies, while moderates sought incremental changes. The Democrats struggled to balance the demands of their base, which increasingly leaned towards progressive policies, advocating for sweeping reforms in healthcare, climate change, and social justice. The progressive wing, energized by young activists and grassroots movements, demanded bold action on issues like the Green New Deal and Medicare for All, while the need to appeal to moderate and independent voters crucial for winning national elections remained a pressing concern. Moderates argued that a centrist approach was necessary to win over swing states and undecided voters. This internal struggle played out in the party's messaging, with progressives pushing for bold action on issues like climate change, healthcare, and income inequality, while moderates urged caution and a more centrist approach. The conflicting messages often left voters confused about the party's true stance on key issues. The moderates, wary of alienating centrist voters, advocated for a more measured approach, focusing on pragmatic solutions rather than sweeping reforms. The lack of a cohesive message, coupled with the inability to effectively counter Trump's populist appeals, created an opening for the former president to exploit. Trump's ability to deliver a clear and consistent message resonated with many voters, contrasting sharply with the Democrats' fragmented approach. This ultimately allowed Trump to reclaim the White House, as the Democratic Party's internal divisions and lack of unity proved to be a significant obstacle in their path to victory. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us create more content like this.